So what's your take on Nas's latest Instagram post, man? I'm not really big on the cryptic messages and stuff like that, but it's entertaining, right? Especially from a artist such as Nas, who pretty much travels below the radar, right? In the sense that he doesn't like all the attention that comes along with it. But in this day and age, with marketing, you got to do that, right? You got to scrub your page clean sometimes, start from scratch, and let that be the focal point. 10-second video or just what? So black and white lightning. You get the Nas emblem or logo here and there. But it's exciting, man. Considering all the music they've given us in the last 2.5 to 3 years, man, it's been superb. KD1, you see the maturation process up to KD2, the Magic, which most people, well, a lot of people feel as though is the best project within that group. Then you get KD3, another classic, and now he may be coming back outside, but who knows though? But we had to know that, right? Hip Hop 50, he had his hand on many different things with like the Grammy situation and with the Mass Appeal. So you would think that he would make a contribution in some estimation, but whatever it is, man, I'm down for that. But you got a lot of people who, are speculating maybe we may get the Primo album, which I've been very reluctant to. I don't know. I kind of moved on past that, but if we get it, I'm all in on it. Probably get a project with, I don't know, probably a Magic 2, for lack of a better term, or something similar to it where he just strips it down and does what most people love him for prior to his recent success or his third prime. But whatever it is, the true fan is gonna show up. Excuse me, the true supporter is gonna show up, show love, and be honest about it, man. But it's an exciting time for hip hop for sure. Yeah, I think a new Nas project is definitely gonna come this year. And think about it, we're only in July. Still got time. We're not even the fourth quarter yet. What do we have here? I'm bumping Moment of Truth lately. Gangstar. That's a classic. When that come out, 98, right? Quite a few dope albums came out in 98. We got what? Pun, DMX. Didn't Jay drop in 98? Volume 2. Yeah, quite a few dope. Saturday Night Lives. We have, man. Soulmatic, what up, man? Yeah, it's been I went live probably, I think, close to when Nas was at the Garden. I could be wrong, but it feels like it's been a while. Yeah. What we got here? Soulmatic, throw that comment up there. Start a little discussion. The Primo gives Nas the type of beats he gave to West Side and Rome Street's Runaway. I'm all for it, fam. What do you think is the biggest difference between Primo, I don't know, 10 years ago, let's say 15, and now? Is it his chopping style? Do you hear the difference in him switching from the MPC 60 to the MPC Renaissance? Like, why is like a lot of people turned off with his current sound? Because he did something recently with Teflon, right, from MOP. I don't know if he produced the joints, but I heard his voice all over it. And them joints were knocking. Top 5 albums of the year. Whoa. Oh, man. No particular order. I would. Sky Zoo's definitely in there. Mind of a Saint. I have to go with. I know it's early since it came on streaming platforms, but Ransom Director's Cut 4 is fire, man. Like, if you just like beats and rhymes with the message, can't even knock that. And you can hear them like maturation process. Like he has a focal point and he tapped in on it. The execution was A1. I like Larry June as well. Alchemist, The Great Escape. Lyrically, it may not be most people's cup of tea, but when we're talking about a full body of work, I find that has a lot of replay value. And the last two, I don't know, man. Because I did a video probably like a month ago where I was asking, are we satisfied with the current releases this year? Because it felt underwhelming. Like Conway album was cool. It was cool, but I haven't played it a lot. But I don't hold that against him because he's given us so much fire. You know what I'm saying? But when we're talking album of the year, right now I can only name like 3 that I played a lot. a new Jada album this year. Sean Borgs was good, fam. Idol Grade 88. Wow, what's good? What we got here? His production of talking about Primo now. His production doesn't have the same bounce swing they used to. Are still good production, but not the same. And you know what? That's that you can't even argue against that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if his ear isn't the same. I know even like the drums don't sound, they don't have that punchiness that they once had, but that's a technical issue. Not even an issue. That's just something that he's moved on from because think about it. 2-inch tape to now you just recording straight to a DAW, DAW. So but those are simple things that you can work around. But as far as the Nas and Primo joint go, like I said, I have plenty of videos. I've said I'm kind of past it, but it's hip hop 50, man. We got to celebrate it. I want everybody to come outside, right? 50th year. Think about it. His birthday he'll be 50 this year, right? So pretty much he was born when hip hop was created. 73. So got to participate in some sense. So I don't care if we get an EP joint from Primo, another Hit Boy situation. I don't care if it's a project where Hit Boy is just executive producing. Shout out to Adriel Green, who made that comment probably like 2 weeks ago. Like he feels as though something like that is gonna happen. So whatever it is, I'm tapping in. We got here. I think it's the loops. Primo experimenting and messing with musically that haven't knocked crowds since Prime. When's the last Prime album? They had 2, right? Royce hasn't been outside for a while either. I don't know, man. But Nas got a lot of people in a frenzy, man, just off a 10-second video. Like, yo, it's like the gift that keeps on giving, right? Last album was like November. The Garden, February. I think they're back in Brooklyn in September with the Woo. So there's a lot happening as we speak in real time. And when you at that level with the artistry, is like everything is well thought out, is planned. There are no accidents. So that video was for a reason. It's leading to something. For real. What we got here? Ease, how do you feel about Jay putting a Nas quote in the Brooklyn Library? It ain't hard to tell. It's interesting. But I'll be visiting this week because he's in my neighborhood. Man, that's pretty fire, man. That's pretty fire. First of all, I'm definitely going to check that out. I'm gonna get out there probably next week as well. I just read up on the library, on the library itself, the website, stating that anyone can come through. So those who may not even have a library card, you could definitely go through between the hours of 9 and 6. So go check it out. But I'm definitely going out there early next week to check it out. But as far as that quote, I read somewhere that I think he said a line like that in Picasso as well, right? But when you think that line is synonymous with Nas, but I think it's just, I don't think it's nothing there. I could be wrong. If so, we already know who doing them at the moment. But I'm looking forward to a Jay project too, if he drops something. At this point, man, I'm just trying to support everything. You have your little friendly debates and stuff like that, but you got to think about it. Like, even in the league, you look at some of your favorite players now, right? Getting up in age, they may not be around much longer. So they don't really have to rhyme now. So whatever they give us is truly from the heart. So at this particular moment, if Jay drops something, which would be something perfect if it's attached to this particular marketing thing, a book of Hov, you got your rhymes and you got the baseline studio inside the Brooklyn Library. Like, that's crazy. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Lucky Lefty. Told you I got you, son. I got you. It's dope that Nas and Jay still have having their friendly rivalry. You gotta have that, man. In most areas in life, right? Even at your job, you may have someone who's just as good as what you do. And that just keeps you on your toes. Like, you know, I can't slack today because, you know, such and such. If I slack for a minute, they may take my spot. Not necessarily take your spot, but they'll be deemed or viewed as the person or the go-to person. You know what I'm saying? So that friendly competition is always something that keeps you going. Because when you got as much money as they do and you've had the success that they have for so long, money can get boring. Because what could you buy with 50 million that you can't buy with 30? You know what I'm saying? Like, so they need something to keep themselves going. What we got here? We need all the hip hop artists to drop from the 90s, 80s, and current. Go by support who you listen and like. As it hip hop 50, exactly. Ease. Everybody should come outside and let's not make record sales and how much merch you're selling. Let's not put that at the forefront. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be active, like I would love to hear something from Cool G Rap that is polished, well produced, and that highlights his skill set. His last project, I think Domingo did it. Was it early this year or late last year? I really wasn't digging it. You know what I'm saying? But I would love for someone like that to come outside and really showcase his talents, the 50th year of hip hop, and have those who really appreciate the culture, lyrics, beats, and rhymes support it. Oh, we got quite a few questions here. Let me start here. Keeps you sharp, B. Any man thrives in the spirit of competition. If you damn, we got mad questions up here. My bad. I'm trying to go through the joints. They're going up and down. Sean Bugs, what up, man? This dude right here, very knowledgeable. If you ever been in the comment section, he knows it's like a hip hop historian. And I ain't just talking about like guessing things, like the years, making connections between albums. Learn a lot. Like if you get in the comment section and you really converse with the people on the platform, you can learn a lot. Because I never want to be the person that think he knows everything. So that's why I engage so much in the comment section. We have here. What you feel about Heavy D being snubbed out of the 50th celebration? Now, when you say snub, are we referring to what, any particular platform, or was he snubbed from an award show, or just overall, like people aren't giving him his just due? I don't want to jump out the window. I want to make sure I know exactly what you mean. But as far as Heavy D goes, I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. Heavy D is a legend for many different things. Just the fact that what he brought to the game, right? Big dude like that, being able to move, dance, and be accepted. Um, from his approach to not really using profanity in that sense. He hit records. He was an exec to a certain degree, and hell of a producer. He done. You'd be surprised that he had his hands on Beanie Siegel. I can feel it in the air. That's Heavy D. Nas and Don, that's Heavy D. Let's not get back to his own work in the 90s. So Heavy D, many individuals, as you all know, I'm not really giving a history lesson right now, but you can just go through many different MCs who come in the game that tap into Heavy style and took some things away from it. So if he is being snubbed, it's foul. But at the same time, we can't really accept or expect these publications or certain platforms to give him a shine because they always overlooking someone. That's up to us to do that, right? So when you're on your socials or something like that, post a Heavy D verse or something. You know what I'm saying? Or put a young dude on to him or a young lady. I'm telling you, I like the drill music. I be doing this. This is what I mean. This is an alternative. You know what I mean? Just let them know that this individual, what they see now, many people tap into what he does, but snub, that would be crazy if he's been snubbed. Heavy was nice, man. Heavy got busy. Yeah. But we can get into all the. Didn't he have Soul for Real? Soul for Real was Heavy D, right? I know someone just put Monifa here. I know Diddy is attached to him in some way, right? That's Pete Rock's cousin. Like, think about he from Mount Vernon too. Like, let's not act like that doesn't mean something. Like, he wasn't from the boroughs in the sense. They from New York, but they from Mount Vernon. They put a whole area on. You hear how Um, LOX always speak about how they had that monkey on their back being from Yonkers and they didn't feel like they got their just due. Oh, Westchester, you know what I'm saying? Like they had to fight for their spot too. And when you think about Mount Vernon, you think about some hip hop heavyweights. That's Heavy D. That's Heavy D, man. You know what? I'm glad you said that, Lucky. I think I'm gonna have to tap into that as well. Heavy D has some joints, man. Yeah, Nas and Don was definitely Heavy D. What we got here? Facts. They be biased one way or another when giving props to these media outlets and publications. Facts. But that's why we have platforms like this and many others, man, where you can get with like-minded individuals who really love the culture for what it is, and we can actually have mature discourse. Because sometimes you forget. Like I even haven't been mentioning Heavy D as much as I should, and I'm glad you said that. But I know his value and what he brings. And now that you mentioned it, maybe that is kind of like a snub in a sense because for him to put a whole area on his back, that's crazy. And to this day, and he was getting into the whole reggae thing prior to him transitioning. He's done it early in his music, like you hear the references, or I think he was West Indian if I'm not mistaken, but he started really making like music geared towards that genre. So he had no limitations, no limitations, none. Listen, man, see what I mean? Sean Bugs, Grand Poobah. Grand Poobah, when it comes to rap flows and style, he may be in the Mount Rushmore. Flow is flawless. Flawless. He was born in Jamaica. I knew he was West Indian. I didn't know he was born there, but yeah, Heavy is a certified legend. Can't even argue that. New Rochelle, we got Heavy D, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, YG's, Grand Poobah, Brand Nubian. Come on, man. And Mary's not even mentioned in that. Think about this. Come on. You know what's crazy? If we did a starting five, right, of the boroughs and Long Island, and then we did Westchester. Westchester, listen, man, we maybe top three, dog. Because I'm talking about starting five, you get maybe 3 or 4 artists and choose one producer. It's no musically, they came through and cemented the area, man. And people were still influenced by what they brought to the game. When you think of Andre Harrell and Uptown Records, Heavy D has a lot to do with that. A lot to do with that. Oh, Heavy D and Pete, first generation Jamaican print. See, you hear Pete talk about his pops all the time. West Indian had a bunch of he was a vinyl collector as well. You see what I mean? That's fire, man. I think I read somewhere Pete was very upset about Heavy not getting his just due. I don't know if it's related to this whole hip hop 50 situation, but one thing about Pete, you may not always agree with the way he does things or his outbursts, which are very frequent, but he will speak up concerning certain things. And Heavy D does deserve his flowers, or he should at least gotten them prior to transitioning, right? But those who know. When you hear someone like Diddy speak of Heavy D, it's glowingly. You know what I'm saying? Like many people who were in the game when they speak about Heavy D, they have nothing but great things to say because what he did. And these were young men at the time doing what they did. For real. Word? Albie Shaw from Westchester. Jodeci for yep. Classic album. That was all on Uptown, right? Albie Shaw from Westchester. That's crazy. Andre Harrell, he had the foresight to put that together for sure. What we got here? I'm trying to go through all the comments, man. It's been a while. Jonathan Coleman, what up, fam? I appreciate all of y'all, man. For real. Here we go. I knew I found one. I couldn't find it. Heavy D is a product of people frowning upon happy rap. By 1994, that was seen as lame. Head was one of the greatest of all rappers, but he wasn't street. On wax, probably. You know what I'm saying? Like that's whack, right? How many people have missed out on some dope music because of quote unquote happy rap? Like someone doing a record like, was it Don't Curse? What's it? Curse or Cuss? It was Don't Curse, right? Pete Rock was on that joint. Who else was on it? Was Pete Rock, Heavy D? I'm missing someone. Kool G Rap was on that, right? That was like 92. Happy rap. Those are feel good records. When you go back and listen to some of those Heavy D records. Yeah. 97 was what, the Waterbed Hev album. He had some joints on that too. Shout out to Lucky for bringing that up, man. I'm gonna go listen to some Heavy D, man. He never put himself in the box, even when he was quiet. You know what I'm saying? What we deemed to be quiet, he was doing stuff behind the scenes. None of his stuff sound the same. Think of the records that he did, and we mentioned Nas the Don. That don't sound like I Can Feel It in the Air, or that doesn't sound like any Monifa songs, or that doesn't sound like anything that Soul For Real did. You know, like he did his thing. And that's all you need, Lucky. Respect, right? That's fire. I like how kept it stressed out. A lot of people was not bit off of, they were influenced. You're not gonna tell me that Diddy being a part of Uptown Records and having a relationship with Heavy didn't give him the confidence to know that Big could go mainstream. The blueprint was right there. Although they were different type of rappers, but how you lay it out, how you market things. Hev was like the blueprint. Like, oh, damn, I can do this too. All right, get my own artist, similar shape, build. But he's going to be considered to be a world-class rapper, but I'm going to steal some things like the style and the grace and the approach and the charismatic ways, you know? Nothing wrong with that. Heavy D. I'm definitely, let me write that down. So plan until you write it down, right? I'll be listening to some of that tomorrow. If you, as a fan, right? And I did this earlier, or maybe yesterday with AZ. If you were introducing someone who was unfamiliar with Heavy D, what would be the first song you would tell them to listen to? Whether it be something that he performed or something that he produced. What would be the first song? Yo, y'all here spitting facts. Yo, I forgot Heavy. Yo, he was in Life, right? Was he in Life? Am I bugging? He was in Life. Money Earning, Mount Vernon. Say what you want, man. I remember being a youngin'. When did Mecca and the Soul Brother come out? That was like 92, right? That had to be about 92, right? Around that time, early 90s, when you, especially in the city on we used to have something called the jukebox when you called in and you can pretty much request videos on the fly. Mon Dukes or a parent, whoever was going to pay the telephone bill. But Mount Vernon, that area, what? Around that time, the jukebox, they have so many tunes up there, back to back to back videos. 92, yeah. He was in Baps as well. That's crazy. Feel It in the Air. As a matter of fact, what movie was that? It was a documentary. Was that the show when they had like a barbecue in Mount Vernon? That was the show, right? We got here. You may have mentioned this already, but someone mentioned Pete Rock was sending shots at Nas about Heavy not getting his props, etc. Because Nas is spearheading the Hip Hop 50 celebration. True. I'm not sure about that, but if so, could we really be mad at him? Like I said earlier, like I don't I don't always agree with Pete Rock's approach, but he's not always wrong. Sometimes he's stuck in his ways. Sometimes it's not how you say something. No, let me refrain. That's the wrong way of even putting that. It is how you say it. His messaging sometimes is correct, but the approach, man, sometimes it's not well thought out. So if he is, in fact, blaming Nas for spearheading Hip Hop 50 and Hev not getting his credit, I don't know. I don't know if you can blame one man for that. But Hev should be mentioned more. But think about it. It's only July. Let's give it some time, right? We don't know what's in the works. It's like even on the Grammys. Was it the Grammys when they had their whole celebration? I've been seeing groups like Little Brother and Fonte was so hyped that their name was mentioned on the stage, like written out on as part of the stage prop, as being one of the big contributors to hip hop. So I'm pretty sure if their name was mentioned, Heavy D was as well. But Pete Rock he's fighting a different fight. That's his cousin, probably misses him a lot, and so he always gonna fight that fight. But to blame one individual, I don't think we can do that. But Hev does deserve some credit, and I'll take responsibility for that too. Because if I got like a hip hop channel where I speak about hip hop, we should be talking about things like that, as opposed to the messiness that happens, which I try to stay away from. But it's Hip Hop 50. We should be highlighting and showcasing those who made contributions to the genre. Chizza. Your little brother is highly. It's weird. I wouldn't say they're not underrated, because those who know, because their music wasn't geared towards everyone anyway. So, but it's almost as if they got in their own way. Let's just put it that way. Because their first two albums are classics. And then you get the infighting and stuff like that, and you kind of lose momentum. But to see where they are now, I love it. Fonte is probably one of the most talented, if not the most talented artist in hip hop history. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's the greatest rapper, the greatest lyricist. I'm talking about artists, but in the sense of like being able to sing talent, rap, an array of different things. Like his talent knows no bounds, He set the table for individuals like Drake. Like that's his style. And get with a Ninth Wonder and Big Pooh, his first solo album, Sleepers, was fire as well. I expected much more from them as a collective, but to see that those two have gotten it together, got on the same page, and put out what they put out, Middle Watch. That was prior to the pandemic. So we're talking like 2019, 2020. To see that they're on the same page. It was just in Brooklyn Bowl too. I missed that concert. But yeah. But when you think about it, how many rap groups stay together that long? The Tribe had infighting. They Lie. That's They Lie and probably LOX, right? How many have stood the test of time? Oh, that's a great comment right here. So many important figures, unfortunately, become footnotes. The community has to celebrate legends more. So many blind spots. Wow. Yeah, that's simple but profound. You're right though. And it's kind of heartbreaking too, right? You ever go through like just your collection, right? CDs or vinyl, and you have that artist that's near and dear to you, and you always ask, damn, like, why didn't they pop, or why weren't they able to sustain a certain level of success? And it's heartbreaking at times because it was quality music and they dropped it and they just disappeared. And like you said, as a community, we kind of forget. We have like, and we can't even blame it on phones or anything like that. It's been like this for quite some time. Our attention span is not, it's like that of an infant. Out of here. If you're not constantly around, constantly dropping, or I don't know, the focal points don't align, we do kind of tend to forget about individuals. Because there's many legends that, like even a Grand Poobah, we know because we hip hop heads. But it was at one point, he was synonymous with so many different things. Like even when Tommy Hilfiger, like when you thought about that brand, it was like him. And now we're about 25, 30 years removed from that. And not many people mention him. You'll get, I've heard Nas and Jungle mention him on the Bridge podcast. Mary, any chance she gets, she mentions him because he played a pivotal role in the What's the 411 album. But not many people, not even from New York, people don't really mention him. He was nice. He had the style. I mean, the flow. When we talking Mount Rushmore flow, Grand Poobah, no hesitation, has to be on that list. He was nice. Chubb Rock. Chubb Rock had such a memorable verse on that the Crooklyn Dodgers joint too. It was Return of the Crooklyn Dodgers. Right? It was him, OC. Was J-Ru in that joint? OC ate that too. But yeah, Chubb Rock, Jungle Brothers, Nice and Smooth. My God, Onyx. Although Onyx can still book a show because they have like that mainstream appeal, but you're right. A different type of audience gravitates to them. Digging in the Crates. Brand Nubian. Poobah. You're right, man. I never thought about that. Poobah was the MC Genesis for Fonte. That's great. That's a great comment. Because you're right. Because we often put there's no Drake without Fonte, but it goes back to Idle Grade 88's original comment, how some people become footnotes because there's no Fonte without Grand Poobah. So even I made that mistake. Wow. Diamond D, stunts, blunts, and hip hop. Diamond D get busy too. What's up with Showbiz? In the Crates crew, they had a lineup too, man. Yo, people don't really, if you really took the time, take a pen and paper to write down all the members of the Digging in the Crates crew, it is ridiculous. Fat Joe, Diamond D, Showbiz, AG, you got I'm missing Big L. What other Buck Wild, one of the greatest producers ever. Anthony Best, Buck Wild, hip hop, one of the most creative producers, yet no one talks about. And I understand he gets his credit, and you can go read the credits and see what he's done over the years. But Buck Wild, man, Buck Wild. Something as simple as Coogee rapping Nas' Fast Life. Give him that. Then you can come years later and give Faith Evans I Love You. Like, think about the range between those two records. You can give Black Rob Whoa. That's incredible. Shout out to Buck Wild, man. Son is nice. I ain't gonna say he was nice. He's nice. Oh man. This is going pretty quick. Got here. Facts on Poobah Special Way of Far Side. Arrested Development. Jukebox Days as well. Helter Skelter. So many the good era of music. Yeah. But you know what's funny too? And that just goes to show you how music ages, because a lot of artists that we mention now that we appreciate, people fronted on them too. Because I remember people fronting on Chubb Rock. Everybody wasn't on board with that. Cool Keith, my goodness, you dudes out here getting busy. Look at these historians up in here, man. Boot Camp Click got a new album. I think I seen an interview. Well, I didn't see an interview. It popped up, and I seen a bunch of them sitting down with Torre, I believe. I'm gonna check that out because I am a Boot Camp Click fanatic, man. Yeah. When it comes to people always talk about 808s and that bottom, right? With the production. The Beat Miners, man. Yo. Them dudes had trunk rattlers in the ninth. Yo, son. I've never heard anyone duplicate that sound since. I don't know how they was doing it. Shout out to Mr. Walt and Evil D, man. Wow. That's crazy. Sadat X, one of the most unique voices in hip hop. What's the name of the joint him and Common had? Sadat X got many joints, man. Hands down the best MC in Brand Nubian. I think y'all mentioned them from being from Westchester as well. The Beat Miners, Evil D, man. See, these are the type of cats that put on Smith and Wesson first album. Put on who else we got? Obviously, Black Moon, Into the Stage. They didn't put out many records, the Beat Miners as a collective, but it was like an experimental sound that was timeless. Timeless. And you don't really get the effect if you listen to it through streaming services because those are compressed files. It's compressed. If you go get a CD and you put on a Beat Miners production, fam, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, get your mind in the one. Nah, you right. Nuke Low, salute. Lucky Lefty looking out on that too. See, y'all be knowing y'all ish. That's why I can sit up here and talk with y'all, man. We don't be doing all the messiness. We don't do the arguments and the foul play in hip hop. It's a good place to just have mature discourse about the thing you love, man. The Shining got robbed of 5 mics. You know, listen, that Source situation, man. There's so many albums, and it makes my blood boil. That how many albums didn't get 5 mics? The Shining is a classic. I prefer that over Into the Stage. The Shining had some joints. The Beat Miners, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. The Beatnuts with fire as well. Another underrated producer, Lord Jamar. Yeah, Lord Jamar gets busy as well. Wow, that's crazy. Lord Jamar. Because a lot of people, they attach his name to hot takes now, right? But he is a musician in his own right. He's an outspoken individual. But Lord Jamar got busy, man. That's a fact. Yeah. Jonathan Coleman for sure. Lucky Lefty talking this talk tonight. Yeah, Lord Jamar, don't get it twisted. The dude you see on the old Vlad interviews, or was it the Yam the Mean podcast? My apologies if I'm pronouncing that the wrong way, but he was more than just a hot take. He was talented. They put together projects. They have albums. Brand Nubian. That's Grand Poobah. That's Sadat X, and that's Lord Jamar. For real. Who would be your top 5 producers that are not considered all-star producers. So let's just we're taking RZA out the plate. No Dr. Dre, no Pete Rock, Primo, he's not a suggestion. No Kanye, no Just Blaze. But not even Alchemist or Havoc. Give me your top 5 producers outside of all those names I mentioned. No Dr. Dre, no RZA, no Kanye, no Just Blaze, no Havoc, no Alchemist. Who would you go see? You an artist, got a project coming out, got a nice budget, and you want sample-based production. But you cannot go to the A-list sample-based producers. So once again, no Dre, no Dilla either. Nah, that's the cheat code. No Q-Tip either. Glad you said that. So Q-Tip, Dilla, RZA, Dre, Primo, Pete Rock, Kanye, Blaze, Alchemist, Havoc. Oh, out of here. Can't select them. Top 5. Son, you talking right now. Top 5, yo. Top 5 got some joints. I wonder what he up to these days. Ayatollah. Oh. Large Pro is a cheat code too. My bad, Soulmatic. So we got Diamond D, Marley Marl. Damn. Hold up. This is a Diamond D. Even though Marley Marl's an all-star, but I didn't mention that name, so that's on me. Eric Sermon, probably the most underrated hip-hop producer ever. His music aged. Track for track, when we talking about the way music aged as far as the way it sounds, not many people can even compete. Bink, the humble monster, the high tech. That's a hell of a list right there. I'm not sure if he was part of the Hitmen, but he definitely had some he had a credit on Life After Death. So, and yeah, he worked with Chucky Thompson as well. So that, yeah, you may be right. Yeah, because Chucky Thompson, yeah. You're right. I'm not sure if it was an official thing, but he was definitely working with them. We got Crisis in here. Salam Remy. Dallas Austin. That's a cheat code too. That's on me though. Dame Grease. And I've always said this, even around the late 90s, that window when everybody was trying to figure out what they were going to do, whether it was keyboard beats or sample bass. I preferred Dame Grease's production within the Rough Rider camp over Swiss Beats, even early on. Because Dame Grease had that melody, man. Like, he had, like, musicianship that went along with it. DR Perry. Yo, this nigga's in here talking today, man. It's a reason why I do what I do, too, right? Because it's one thing for me to state things over and over. But, like, when the people you in the chat with, that's a chance for all of us to go, oh, DR Perry, I forgot. Now you go down a rabbit hole, listen to a couple of songs and see where it takes you. DR Period, synonymous or connected with MOP. He even got mad. I think he got maybe 2 or 3 joints on AZ's Do or Die. I think he did More Money, More Murder. In fact, he did. Mathematics. Yes. He's a DJ, also an artist. When you see the Woo logo, that's him. He got joints. Manny Fresh. Yeah. Manny Fresh is nice. Think about this. Manny Fresh had the SP1200 in the 2000s, sounding as if it belonged. Because a lot of cats, when they was using the machine by that time, it sounded dated. He had it cranking. Shout out to Manny Fresh, man. Easy Mo B. If I need a producer and we talking about less is more, Moby mastered the art of space, but also having the sounds or the songs seem complete. Like when you listen to Flavor in Your Ear, the instrumental, it amazes me how great that instrumental is, but the elements are very minimal. It's not much there, but it's perfect. That always astonished me. always. Fourth Disciple. Track Masters. I'm a big Track Masters guy, man. Cats be fronting on Track Masters. Track Masters get busy because they checked all boxes. There's a lot of things they tapped into that they don't get a lot of credit for, man. They were very good at making contributions to great albums. It seemed like they always fit. The Art of Space. Feel me? Yeah, man. Shout out to great Idol 88. But yeah, Pete Rock is good with that too. The space, right? Like if you listen to Soul Survivor, it's not a bunch of elements there, but they just figured out how to just take maybe 5. Maybe it's just the sequencing too, right? Because sequencing doesn't always have to be with songs. Like sequencing can be, all right, I'm gonna have 3 different hi-hats. They're not gonna play at the same time, but this one gonna play here and put that one in the 3rd bar, and then we're doing 8 bars. The other one goes 7th and the 8th bar. It's knowing when to put certain things. Because Pete Rock, whether it's Take You There, something as simple as the Lots of Lovin' instrumental, very simplistic, but I can listen to that on a loop and it just grabs me every single time. The Respiration, the Black Star remix, the way he chopped those pianos, he mastered the art of space, man. Very few people can do that. You never hear Pete Rock track and be like, yeah, there's too much going on. Musicianship. Daz, Jonathan Coleman, yes, Daz is nice. Daz Dillinger, quite a few people put that here. So mad at KG. KG, Naughty by Nature. Go check the credits, ladies and gentlemen. Whether we talking about Big, I'm Missing You, whether we talking about a bunch of John A records, whether we talking about one of the greatest instrumentals ever, Queen Latifah, UNITY, that is KG from Naughty by Nature. KG, man. Range, John A. Wow, I missed them, man. Ski Beats. Ski doesn't get enough credit for his contributions or chemistry with Jay-Z. I know that people talk about Kanye, talk about the Pharrell, talk about Just Blaze. Ski got some joints with Jay, man. Didn't he do both? He did Feeling It. He did Dead Presidents as well, right? And then you can go to Volume 1. He got a host of different joints on there. Like Ski got joints with Jay, man. They was in their bag together. They didn't, as far as the years went on, the separation was there because I guess they had their own in-house producers. But remember, before there was Kanye, Just Blaze, there was Rockefeller, and the production company was called Rock-a-Block. That's why he said, was it on Feeling It? Rock-a-Block, Rockefeller. That's what he's referring to. Rockefeller's the label. Rock-a-Block was the production or the in-house producers. That's Ski. But yeah. Wow. Ski Beats. That's a good one. And you know what? I wouldn't be opposed. Shout out to Bricks. Jay linking up. Hold on. That's a great point, Bricks. But this needs to be stated because Camp Low. I'm not sure if the gossip or the rumors are correct, but there is some rumors that a lot of Jay songs were theirs prior. You know what I'm saying? Not to say they were ghostwriting for him, but the feeling of it. You know what I'm saying? Camp Low. What is it? Uptown Saturday Night? That's their debut album, right? Fire. Ski. I forgot Ski did that album. Ski. Shout out to Ski Beats, man. I actually got a chance to meet him like 10 years ago, probably at I Standard, a beat producer showcase. He was cool as hell, man. Son was mad cool, humble. You would never think, well, I'm not gonna say that. He behaved in a way that you would think all of your idols or people you support should engage with their supporters. Like, cool dude. Very cool dude. Shout out to Ski. Rock Marciano. Heat Makers. I like early Heat Makers. I don't like the new stuff that Arson is doing. And not to say that he can't get busy. Only thing is, it's like he's not switching up his drum pattern anymore. But if it's working, I guess that's his sound he's going for. But listen, that's another one. Those natural trunk rattlers, man. Them dudes. We always say those dudes. It's just one of them, right? The Heat. It's Arson. I know it was 3, but I don't know if the other 2 did beats and then they just quietly like disappeared. He said, it's not rumors, you find the songs. Listen, I don't be trying to throw grease on, on individuals' names, man. But you hear Havoc. Jay stole, borrowed something from y'all. See, I knew I wasn't bugging, man. But we're gonna use, our discourse as confirmation. All right. And Geek Sway was in them Uptown Saturday night sessions. You can hear it though. I'm like, if you really listen to music, you can hear it. Ski tapped into something. Shout out to Ski Beats, man. Who put that in there? That was Lucky Lefty, right? Iceberg Slim. We're gonna get to that comment. If we getting the producers in their prime, we gotta talk Bomb Squad. I just did a video on that whole Biggie and Ice Cube situation, the most odd comparison ever, right? And I spoke on how people speak on New York bias, but the fact of the matter is, Cube got on that plane and he traveled to NY to link with the in-house producers of Public Enemy, who happened to be the Bomb Squad, Long Island's own. They had a distinct sound. To this day, outside of Pete Rock, I've never seen people take so many different samples and make it work in quite that way. Dre did it too with NWA, but how did they do that? That's crazy to me. I mean, they was using like 3 or 4 different break beats. Then you got stabs from over here. Then you got maybe a synth sample from over there. Then you're taking the bass from over here, and then you just put it all together. The difference between them and Pete was space. But their production matched their name, Bomb Squad. Shout out to the Bomb Squad. Hank Shockley, and I'm forgetting the other gentleman's name, but shout out to y'all, man. What we got? I just seen another. Let me make sure everybody get their comments up here. What we got here? AZ and Kendrick Lamar, not just hunting for them. They are the only ones ahead. They better drop some music because God's on us and God more. They are the only ones ahead. Ahead in what? On the Billboard list? Nah, man. That's going a different type of run right now, man. But you know what? If you ever noticed, I kind of veered back from even the Esco talk in the sense that, because it's a wonderful thing, right? Where you, as a fan or a supporter, you ain't even got to talk. Some been so busy lately. It's like, just go listen. That's all I got to say. Nothing. Go listen to that. He's active. I ain't even talking about old work no more. We talking about, yo, got something that dropped in November. Just go press play on that. That'll get you through. No features, too. Nasheem Merrick, the Hitmen. Lil Jon. Lil Jon had a run, too, man. Catch Magazine pissed me off, though, when they gave him Producer of the Year that year. I thought Kanye should have got it. Pissed me off. Shout out to Lil Jon. You can still hear his influence. John got his money and disappeared, right? Yo, you don't even be hearing from son anymore. Hope he's doing well. He's a legend. What's happening, my man? Can I ask what's your favorite Nas album is? It kind of fluctuates. It depends how I'm feeling, and I know that's a cliche answer, but today I'll probably say It Was Written. Yeah. It don't matter how I feel in life, I can always listen to that album. Always. Because what makes me love the album so much is that I'm not a big fan of people boxing people in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to go from what's considered to be arguably one of the most historic albums in music history and say, you know what, I'm gonna try something different and still execute. Many people didn't catch it right away, but the way it aged gracefully, now we have people backtracking, calling it classic or timeless now that kind of look down on it when it first was released. So sometimes as an artist, man, you got to bet on yourself and try different things. And that album is kind of like the blueprint to that. And I don't mention Illmatic all the time as the favorite album because sometimes I feel like that's too easy, right? It's kind of like when people be like, yo, what's your top 5 E's? I never mentioned Big and Pac. It's too easy to state that. Sometimes you got to like really dig deep. Like, what else have I listened to? Or who else have I listened to that deserve to be there? Listen, man, these 3 songs alone, I can listen to, I don't care what Nas playlist I have, those 3 songs have to be there. I Gave You Power, The Message, Taken in Blood. It's just perfection to me. And not to mention, his greatest song that he's ever written is not on the album, but is attached to the album as a remix. That's Street Dreams. I'm not saying that's his most, obviously I Gave You Power may be more in-depth or it may be more descriptive, but I think Street Dreams remix is the greatest song he's ever written from verse 3 to the hook because it kind of juxtaposes the actual regular Street Dreams. Everything he talked about in Street Dreams, the regular joint, when they in Vegas in the video and all of that, based off Casino, he gave you the total opposite on the Street Dreams remix. That's layers, man. That's trying different things, man. That's maturing as a writer, as an artist. And that's being mindful. You're not going to tell me that he didn't hear people talking. It's like, you know what? I'm going to take it back. Beautiful thing, man. What we got here? It Was Written was lyrically on a whole another level, storytelling at its finest. That's another thing too. Like, pardon me. This week people were getting upset because they felt like he got snubbed for not being on a storyteller or best storyteller list. You can tell who listens to music just by some of their replies and the things that they say. That's why I don't even let things like that I'll entertain it sometimes for the sake of it, but when you go down the list of just writing, because even with storytelling, and I had to catch myself earlier this week, what's considered a story? Like, what do we deem to be a story? I know it sounds like a crazy question, but is Rewind a story? Because Ice Cube, It Was a Good Day, right? Most people would consider that to be a great story, right? But is Juicy a story? Like, are we considering biographies or autobiographies to be stories within hip hop? See, that's the thing. Like, when we don't have like a clear graphic or criteria of what things are, it's hard to gauge. But when you got somebody like Nas who checks all boxes, you just gotta automatically know that whatever you speaking of, whatever criteria, whatever topic, whatever focal point there may be, he can definitely do it. Yes, sir. He definitely did perform that on Nickelodeon. I even got that on the channel. I found that I had to put that on because I remember watching that. He had Wiz as his hype man too. Good times, man. Good times. You Gotta Love It off Lost Tapes is an underrated Nas track produced by LES. Fire Mandrill sample too. I'm only stating the sample because it's been cleared. You can read the credits. Just listen to how he's rapping on that. It doesn't get talked about enough. He was bugging on that. And that's a 3-bar loop. If you really pay attention to it, that joint is fire, man. You gotta love it. What else we got here? Oh, the real Leonard Washington. What up, man? I didn't realize that was you. What's happening, dog? Good to see all y'all up. So many producers that haven't gotten their recognition. Yeah, everybody pulling up on a nice Saturday. Yeah, man. Figure it's gotta start doing this more often. I've been bugging. Peace King for sure. Appreciate all of y'all. Nas tells short stories in his rhymes. Music for Life is the perfect example. Music for Life is a great track. Is that on High Tech's album? Who's on that? Common? Dilla? Was Dilla on that? It was Nas, Dilla, Common. Yeah. And High Tech was on there too. Nas got that. I remember that. Lost Tapes. Is that considered an album when we talk about Nas? I go through this all the time with myself. Many people have given me the confirmation to include it or accept that it is an album. I think so. Because I think it was all recorded within the same time, right? That's like the I Am era. It counts. It's definitely, if it counts, it's top. Got to be top 3, top 4, at least for me. No flaws in that. And Gotta Love It probably maybe my second favorite track on there. Nothing Lasts Forever. I don't know. It depends how I'm feeling with that. That's different. JB Was Here. What's good, fam? It's an album. We rolling there. Blaze the 50. Purple. It's flawless. I would love to know what was like the setting like and those type of sessions, like when he first hears the beat for Purple, or he first hears the beat for, I don't know, like Stay on Life Is Good. Yeah, man. Because that's right up his wheelhouse, man. The musicality, everybody can't rhyme over that. Because they can't find their pocket. Drunk by Myself, phenomenal. Wasn't Fetus on there? Ooh, what we got here? This new Nas album would be dope if it was half Hit Boy, half Alchemist. Shout out to Humble Bragger for the super chat. That would be phenomenal, right? Have Hit Boy. You know what? It'll make it even better because they've been locked in with each other. Right? I could have sworn I heard, or it was an interview where he was talking about how they were sending production back and forth between each other. Well, Hit Boy stated that about Alchemist, and he also stated that he's using the MPC now too. So those who complain about his drums, you may get the knock that you've been asking for, but that would be phenomenal. Hit Boy is at the stage now where I think he's gonna make that turn to start just doing executive producing albums, because that's all he's missing now. Like, he stunned it in the interview, like he's the first dude to get Nas a Grammy, and and Jay-Z his highest selling single ever. Think about what's the odds of that happening? You can probably hit Powerball before that happens for most people, you know. Hit Boy on the whole album is cool. B-Lord, shout out to you. My whole thing with, if it's a KD series, I want it to be Hit Boy, you know. Let me give my disclaimer with that too, because a lot of people in the comments, they get upset when you have a Nas wish list, like, oh, you should just be happy with what he gives us. He gave us so much, and I understand it. I get it. But as a consumer, I'm a person that supports. I ain't bootlegging nobody joint. If I don't buy a CD, I'm gonna buy some merch. I can have a suggestion, and I feel as though KD series should be exclusive to those two. And if they do something, he does something outside of that, just bringing other producers. Obviously, I don't want another KD album right now. I think it was only July. That dropped in November. Was saying Nas should do a new super producer album, but locked in the studio, not emailing. Yeah. Yes. You can hear the difference for sure. Hit Boy, Metro Boomin, and 2 more of big current producers. That would be cool. I wasn't too big on the Metro joint until that recent track they did. I was like, yeah, I like his competitiveness. Like he was hearing what people were saying. He tried something different. And sometimes it goes back to if you got the right executive producer in the room, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have another super producer there or somebody you bringing in, but you still letting Hit Boy oversee it, it's gonna go in the direction it's supposed to go. Because you're gonna go through so many records just to get the one that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you too, fam. Real rap. I appreciate y'all. What we got here? Which is better, Life is Good or Godson? That is a great question. Which is ironic too, because I got tired of listening to streaming. So I went to go cop some CDs and I found both of those yesterday. Godson and Life is Good. Man, I gotta go Life is Good. That's crazy, right? I'm gonna go Life is Good. I'm standing on that. I'm going Life is Good. Yeah. Especially where I am now. Like Life is Good that's a grown man album, you know? So many different things on there I can relate to. What we got here? I'm trying to get to all the comments, man. Just trying to move in dumb fast. I'm making some great points in here. Hit Boy is cool, but I believe Nas and DJ Premier would be an instant classic. I think I spoke about this earlier. I was kind of opposed to a Nas and DJ Premier situation, but being at this Hip Hop 50, I'll be open to it. But maybe like a 3 or 4 song EP. But I don't know. Nas and Hit Boy done tapped into something to where I'm all in on that. Hit Boy don't really have no holes in this game. You know what I'm saying? And if he does, the weaknesses probably showed on KD1, but he kind of quickly transitioned and pivoted and understood what he should do by KD2. He's just getting better and better, you know? So we got to keep in mind, it's a young man. He's been in the game for a long time, but he's a young dude, man. Young man. But to each his own, man. Like a lot of people have been waiting on that Nas and Primo album, and I waited for years to the point to where I got to the point I am now, where I kind of like gave up on it. Being honest with you. But with Esco now, he seems to be so free to where shit, you may get that and you get something else too. We got here KD2 went number 5, KD3 went number 10. All good for a rapper that came out in 1991. Oh, just the comment I was looking for, my bad. Nas is tied with Jay with 16 top 10 albums on Billboard. Most ever. That's pretty impressive for someone who doesn't sell records, right? Yes, definitely. Life is Good. Yeah, I'm taking that over Godson. I like Godson a lot too, man. But Life is Good is I don't know, man. It just aged very well. I liked it when it came out. When it came out in 2012? That 12? Yeah, that was 2012. And I'm glad I found that CD yesterday because, like I stated before, like streaming, you don't really get the sound, man. Them compressed files sound good, but it's not knocking in the way that it was intended to be heard when the person mixed it. Like, it's weird. Summer 2012, right? Yep. Primo ain't the same no more. Nas outgrew him already. I was just asking before some of y'all came in, like, what's the biggest difference? Is it the fact that he changed his machine in a sense, or his desired workflow, because I don't really, his drums don't knock the way he don't have that bounce. But the legend got so many joints to where I don't even hold it against him. But like you said, Nas, it's remarkable what he's done and what they've done too. Because when you think about it too, I don't think I heard anyone ever talk about this, right? And let me know if I'm wrong. When we talk about tandems, and I thought about this yesterday, are there any combinations with regard to a rapper and a super producer, right? When it comes to chemistry, where the two don't really have singles together. How many singles they got? They got Nas is Like, and what else? When you think of Dre and Snoop, they have a bunch of singles together. When you think of Jay and Kanye, they have singles. Jay and Pharrell singles. Jay and Just Blaze singles. Nas and Primo don't have singles together. But somehow people act like they created Thriller. Like, that just goes to show you the great music that they've created when they did decide to lock in. And I just take that and run with it, create a playlist, and that's my album. I was just talking about that B-Lord. I wasn't sure if he did the beats. I heard his name. I didn't read the credits, but it definitely got that bounce. Nah, JB, you right. Yeah, I was stating how on particular joint, I was saying how the sound quality of streaming is not the same as a CD, because the streaming is kind of compressed, right? Like, so you get it's a squash sound. Like if you even play Nas's Life Is Good, a CD, and compare it to what's on the streaming service, you're not gonna get that same knock. Or even some Dre tracks, like you listen to even the Firm album. I got the Firm CD in the crib, and I listened to it on streaming service. Is not the same, but it's impossible to get that same quality, right? When you compressing the file, it's kind of like emailing MP3s back and forth. It'll never be the same. But yeah, that's why I was stating that I'm kind of off the streaming joint. So if I can find the CDs, I'm gonna do that. But I run your streaming numbers up just to be a fan, listen to it from here and there. But I like the sound quality. Nas and Primo are some of the best hip hop ever. How many singles do they have? I'm trying to get to the bottom of that, man. Anybody know? Because for them to have made so much magic and people connect them so much, success it's not in the numbers. It's in the way that it made you feel. You know what I'm saying? I find that's so fascinating to me, because everybody else talking about number ones. Oh, Kanye and Jay got so many number ones, and Jay and Pharrell, and when you think about Nas and Primo, they have so many hits or B-sides or timeless tunes that have touched people for years upon years, and they're not even singles. How many people can say that? That's different. What we got here? I'm a Buster guy. Yeah. Buster dropped something. I'm gonna cop that. It had one single, I believe. I think it was Nas is Like. Yeah, and that's not even a prototypical like single, right? That's like one of the most organic singles we've known. Because right behind that was what they kind of paired that with. Was it Hate Me Now? That's I Am, right? Yeah. So shout out to those two. But Hip Hop 50, man. This is a fact, yeah, without a doubt. CD definitely has the best sound quality, but it's not as convenient, you know. Just finding the damn CD players, especially in the car. You got to get that joint installed on your own. Now it's just like was a street single. We got radio play though, yeah. We got here. I'm trying to make sure I get to everyone. Nas being the great nostalgia rapper that he is, I predict that for Hip Hop 50, Nas' album will be tributes to other rappers. Remember when we still haven't gotten KRS One song, like to the one about Rakim. Still haven't got tributes to other. Now tributes in what way though? You mean like he will be rhyming about them, or he'll be releasing material from those those particular artists on through his Mass Appeal situation? Hip hop, hip hop. Lucky Lefty, I feel the same way, man. Brick Mills was good. Hip hop, man. Like the conversations are that like it's infinite. You can go on and on about this. And I mean you can go on and on about hip hop and not even get into nonsense. Like if you really a fan, there's so many different topics to talk about. It really is. How many artists have come and gone? You can get into your engineer bag. You can get into who's the world's greatest A&Rs. You can get into so many different things, man. The best logos. It don't matter. There's so many different things to talk about. And you're gonna find someone who doesn't agree with you, and they're gonna tell you why. And then if you really open-minded, if you're mature enough, you're gonna take it in and say, you know what? I may not agree with you, but I learned something. That's what hip hop should be all about, man. That discourse. And that's why we hold on to certain artists for so long to where because they've matured in the same way that we matured as supporters. That's why we can speak about Nas every single day because we can see ourselves in them. You know what I'm saying? Like from a young man to where he is now. And you've been listening since he's come in the game and you've matured alongside him. And that's why this audience is different. We're adults. We're not those who started, I don't know, listening to Rakim and we never matured, and now we cranking drill music and still and got the same mentality as the young boys. Nah. What we got here? It's a great question. Would you be open to a new Wu album if the RZA went back to the original gritty production style that put them on the map? Well, I have a question for you. My first question is it a Wu album without ODB? Secondly, that's not fair. Because those who really listen to like the Wu, like ODP played like such a great role, like it gets overlooked, man. Like if you listen to their albums, he definitely played like a pivotal role. So like just missing that, will kind of hurt it. But I hate to doubt or count the legends out. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from RZA that's gonna make me believe that he can tap back into that. Yeah, I think RZA can get back there. Legend, Mount Rushmore for many. What he was able to do, I don't know how he sustained that for so long. But I would definitely support it though. I cop. I'll definitely cop. Now, what would you prefer? Like when you speak about the old gritty style, is it more talking about Wu-Tang Forever? Or you talking about 36 Chambers? And which album do you guys prefer? Yeah, RZA getting to it. The Wu, man. I don't know how he was able to do that. And I don't understand how, you know what? We're gonna get to that in a moment. Is there anything Nas hasn't done yet? Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, he never gave me that song with Anita Baker, man. Escort, if you listening, we need Nas and Anita Baker on the hook, man. That's my bucket list. That's all I want. Nah, but as far as he checked all boxes, man. Dudes be trying to come with their criterias and made up rules, and nah, he's done everything. And now he's just having fun with it. Heads won't support this new album. Nah, they won't. Even Wu heads. Nods over some RZA beats. All right, hold on. So we're gonna go back here. Anything Nas hasn't done yet. How do y'all rate Nas's performance in Belly, man? Y'all not rolling? 25 years later, has it gotten better? What else was he in? Was Nas in? He was in Too Deep, right? I think he was in Too Deep. Nas and Sade, I'll take. That's fire. We got here Escobar 80 series done. According to Hit Boy, he said they be working, so I doubt if it's done. That's wow. Yo, you in your bag today, man, because I meant to ask y'all this earlier. Those in the city. Anyone going to the Barclays show in September? Trying to figure out if I want to pull up to that. That's fire too. This is good. Michael Brown, shout out to you. Nas and Sade would be crazy. They need the right track, of course. He made a great song with Amy Winehouse though, so it's possible. Yeah, he'd have to get like a musical producer, and Salaam Remi would probably have to be that guy, right? One of the most slept on producers ever. He don't get his flowers, man. I don't like that. Salaam Remi is fire. He's the glue guy. He should get another number one, but he won't. Yeah, man, with this whole game with these streaming farms and all of that, I don't even know how this game goes. Yeah, so that number one joint may be out the window. Oh, my guy's in the building. I Am God. Make sure y'all check out his album, Bloodstained Suede, produced by what? Klepto Beats, right? Fire project, man. Stand up dude right here. Chicago never forgot how to rap. My dude right here. Here we go. And I'm an entertainer today though, because we having fun. Worst Nas album. Worst Nas album. What do we have here? The worst Nas album. My God. Yeah, that's crazy. I would have to say that's not considered an album. I'm gonna say Nasir. I'm gonna go there. Because I know it could have been so much better. They left so much on the table. Like, yeah. I'm gonna say Nasir. Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone agrees. Yeah. And I gave that a nice listen like maybe 2 weeks ago. I was running it back. White label, the mix on that drives me crazy. I'm one of those guys. Like, if like even like when we go back to like maybe 2002, 2003, like that whole inbox era when most people started veering away from the studios and everybody copped their own Max and inbox. Y'all remember those, right? And had your own Pro Tools recording in the bathroom or in the closet. A lot of records that have potential just don't sound good anymore because the mixes were horrible. And an individual like Nas never had bad mixes on his albums. Even his unreleased stuff, it still sounds pretty decent. So to hear a song like White Label where he's spitting and that sample is blaring the way it is, and it sounds like some SoundCloud individual just released it, that kind of pisses me off considering those two and the records that they created together, whether it's We Major, whether it's Still Dreaming, whether it's Papa Was a Player, like it was always something quality. And how we end up there. That's like the one that got away. But like I stated maybe about a year ago, I think that lit a fire under Nas, and that's how we got this whole KD run and Magic run, because he knew his temperament isn't to act crazy in public and go at Kanye, but the maturity, and he knew he had to pivot, and boy did he. And that's why we are where we are now. You know what I mean? But that Nasir album, yeah, man. And even so, it's still better than some dudes' efforts. You know what I mean? But when the bar is that high, like, and you get those two type of individuals together, you expect some more. Yeah, they mixed the hours before it came out. Yeah, I heard Kanye was like really, he was on his last minute joint with that. Yeah, he is a monster, man. And sometimes your own genius could be your adversary. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think you can just do things that aren't like possible, especially when you run in a label and you have so many different artists doing like 5 to 6 or even 8 song EPs. You got Pusha. Pusha was very hands on with this joint. Tiana Taylor had a similar situation with Kanye. You got the Nas joint, like, and then he did the record with what's son name from Ohio? I'm drawing a blank. One of the emo rappers. Whatever, I forgot his name. Oh, I can't believe I forgot his name. But yeah, it had a lot going on, man. And Nas got caught in the crossfire with that one. But Nas is easily the worst record on his discography. But listen, man, he put out 4 fire projects since then, so good money. Adam and Eve is fire. Simple Things is my favorite song on there. What's the joint with Dream? I felt like that was a Kanye record, and you just plug Nas into it because the intro, that format is not even Nas's format. You know what I'm saying? Them long intros, he don't rhyme until like the minute and 30-second point. That's crazy. Adam and Eve is fire. Shot the kid was fire, but that sample was kind of repetitive. Like Kanye, when he really in his bag, he would have chopped that up so crazy. Like, nah, I ain't coming. Yo, Adam and Eve is fire. I see that in the comments heavy. Adam and Eve is fire, but that's one. How many songs on there? 6 to 7. Adam and Eve is dope. What we got here? Oh, what do you expect from LL's new album? Have you heard the first song? I haven't heard anything from it yet, but if Q-Tip has his hands on it, I'll be copping that. And yeah, I'm all in on that. Shout out to LL the legend, man. Those in New York, I think they're having a concert, the Rock the Bells concert, August 5th, right? Forest Hill Stadium. I think I'm gonna be up in that joint too. Hip Hop 50, right? I think Idle Great mentioned that a lot of legends be pretty much forgotten about, but LL was doing his job, making sure everybody eats or has opportunities to perform. So yeah, they definitely gonna be out in New York, I think August 5th. But LL, I'm all for that. LL to this day is in the weird space to where everybody knows who he is, but does he really get the credit he deserves? Because the fanfare typically comes from mainstream because of the way his charismatic ways or his acting ability or being able to host an Oscars or Grammys, whatever it is, like, or act. But as an MC, LL, he may not have the greatest albums, but he's a problem. And I would definitely, if he cop or drop something, I'm all in. I'm copping that. Because I've made it a point on emphasis to support these legends, man. Because hip hop ain't got no retirement plan. And LL, I'm pretty sure he's straight, but there's a lot of cats out here. If they would just put something out worth listening to or quality, I'll cop it. Like I mentioned earlier, G-Rap should link with Havoc and put out a project, or Alchemist, somebody. You G-Rap, who wouldn't want to work with you? And we'll come through. Yeah, the thing with Streets Disciple was this, man. Double CDs are hard to pull off. Like, if you condense it, you get a much better project. I like Streets Disciple. As I've gotten older, there's many different records on there I like. That's the last time Nas and Q-Tip collaborated too, right? It was this one, was the first track. But Streets Disciple, as far as being his worst album, it's not there. L went all the way left, rhyming for the ladies. But I like when L got in that bag too, though, man. Because we were talking about precursors of those who laid the groundwork. Without that L, we don't have a Fabulous, you know what I'm saying? Or we don't have a Mace, or we like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or even a J, or even like when Jay got into that bag, you know, I'm like, L brought a lot to the game. I just think that his albums were lacking. I don't think L got a classic outside of probably Bad. And you gonna skip some joints on there too. I ain't getting busy on the streets, Disciple. Inspector Deck. That's my guy, man. That's one of the biggest questions in hip hop history. What if that flood never happened? I just feel like he, from all the iconic verses he has, whether it's Above the Clouds, whether we talking Cream, whatever it is, he just never had the album to kind of solidify who he was. And I feel bad for him. That's one of those, you know what I mean? Especially with Hip Hop 50. He should be celebrated more. LL would be unbeatable in the verses. And I know a lot of people probably reading this and saying he's bugging. But you know what? The way verses is now, when you have to perform those songs, L is a monster on that stage, man. You're just gonna get up there and be pretty. This ain't the COVID verses where everybody sitting in the house and you just happy to have some entertainment. If you go into the venue, I like that. L is a problem. L would definitely be a problem on that versus stage. Radio is a classic. I'm rolling. All right. My bad. How many years are we removed from that? My bad. What we got here? Make sure I get to all y'all comments, man. LL versus Buster in the verses would be crazy. Buster's my guy, man. I think I would take Buster in that. We're going 20 songs, right? Sometimes we forget that verses isn't an all-night situation. You got your top 20 and we up out of here. Whoa. Oh, this is a hot take right here. Shout out to Matt. Deck can't do a whole album and keep up that same momentum. I don't see it nor hear it. He's a group standout artist, MC. I don't know, man. I'm not talking about now, but at that time, Deck was a problem. He still is, but I just think he missed out on his opportunity. That flood, man. He needed an album. The best New York hip hop area outside the 5 boroughs. All right, so let's do a starting. We would have to go, I guess, the Westchester area. I know it's more counties up there, but like when you're talking Yonkers and Mount Vernon, Long Island could compete. But when we talking the locks and you got Pete Rock and CL Smooth and all them up there, you got Grand Poobah, you have it. It would be hard because Rakim. Are we allowing Rakim? Is he claiming Long Island? You got EPMD. You have hold on, maybe I read the question wrong. Is that best New York hip hop? So we have to maybe Yonkers, right? Outside the 5 boroughs. Wow. I don't know. That's a good question. I'll probably go because I probably listen to. Damn, that's a great question. Because Long Island's no slouches. But I think I have to. Yeah, because you got EPMD. Is Rakim? You give him to Long Island? You got Public Enemy. Busta spent a significant amount of time in Long Island. Prodigy spent a significant amount of time in Long Island. I would have to go LI. Shout out to LI, man. All right, Ease, we love him for what he does. And let's hop on the joint and slaughter most, even in his own crew. No, I get that. This is regarding Inspector Deck, but we don't know if he could carry an album. You got to think about at that time, he was gearing up for an album when he was having all those masterful appearances. How do we know he couldn't have pulled it off? Because most Wu albums ended up having a bunch of features anyway. So it's not like we needed him or we would have expected him to have 15 songs with 3 verses and the hook. Now you have quite a few contributions for his bandmates, from his bandmates. So, but that's neither here or there. We'll never know. But I feel like that hurt his career. He never got a chance. Think about all those iconic verses he has. And everybody in that group pretty much has a solo record. And those who do are considered to be legends. Ray got his. Obviously, Ghost got his. Meth got his. Jizza got his. So why wouldn't he, Riz in his prime, with Riz in his prime, checked off every box and made it happen? Rock Marciano was definitely from Long Island. Yeah, Freddie Fox is too. Bumpy Knuckles. EPMD, Rakim, Rock Marcy, Prodigy, Buster. And you ain't even mentioned Public Enemy, who a lot of people consider to be one of the greatest groups ever, or if not. Yeah, it's a lot, man. That's a great question, though. Because Long Island don't get the credit they deserve. Leaders of the new school. De La Soul is from Long Island. What am I doing up in here, man? What am I doing? Yeah, Long Island got to take that. Simply for they heavy-handed, you know what I'm saying? Keith Murray. One of the greatest remixes ever is the Rhyme remix. Keith Murray, produced by Jay Dilla, man. Oh, one of the greatest remixes ever, man. Nobody ever talks about that record. Shout out to Dilla, man. My God. Yeah, we can definitely pray for Keith Murray, man. I was disturbed by some of the stuff he was doing. Was that last year or earlier this year? But obviously he has some issues. And especially during the Hip Hop 50, right? Someone should reach out like, bro, there's no reason why an individual like this should not be overseas on somebody's stage getting checks. He has the records, whether it's his own. We got some B-sides, got a couple of singles. He's been featured on records. Wasn't he on the Marry My Life album? Wasn't that him? Yeah, Murray was around for a while, man. Yeah, listen, I'm from Queens. We always gonna say Prodigy is ours, but he clearly states and mentions Hempstead a lot. Now, we're not saying when you're born, it's kind of like he's Long Island too. Oh, that's crazy. Yo, Tretch never did have us. Shout out to Tretch. Yo, I have to do a show on that. Tretch inspected that. I'm gonna go through all these. Yep. I shot your remix with Keith Murray too. Yep. Murray should be hip hop, man. It may not sound like all right. How can I say this? Because we get so enamored on things that typically don't matter. But the fact of the matter is, the music. This is the hip hop. It's music business, right? But 50 years in the game, there should be some type of union or something, right? Because someone with health issues or who's having crisis constantly, or outburst, or just the behavior is outlandish, quite as Keith Murray's. There should be something in place where you can just pull them in and have the necessary resources free, because that's crazy. Think of all the record spins that he's had over the years, and dudes just getting points on albums and stuff like that. And he's here now. That's crazy, man. That will never make sense to me. Yep. Hempstead is definitely only a bus ride away from Queens. Yes, it is. This is fact. Good old N15. The 3132. This is a fact too. 3132. Take you right to Far Rock. Not far fetched. What we got? I'm trying to make sure I get to a bunch of questions. We mentioned KG already. I would love to have heard Tretch in his prime do solo. That would be nice, especially with, we spoke about KG earlier. KG was in his bag, man. KG is a legend that no one ever mentions. One of the greatest producers ever. His range. Method Man was from Hempstead. You're right. Yo, yeah, Long Island got that. I'm from Far Rock. This is a good question here. Is G Rap the most unappreciated legend? Um, that's a great question, and it's one of the few questions where the artist has the power in their hands to change that. I don't think rap gives a damn about it. Yeah, I just get that sense from him. He doesn't feel like, it seems like an individual that cares about any of that stuff. You don't hear about G Rap doing shows. You don't hear about nothing. He got records. I know if he wanted to get Nas on the line to get a feature, he can do that. Rap just seems like a dude that, I rap. I'm over it. Y'all hold them verses. I'm good. Let's go sit in the corner over here. Because he is, for his skill set. And it's funny, like, even when he was far removed from his prime, whatever that means, right? When cats will pull him in for a verse, whether it's Mobb Deep, The Realist, or even when Saigon was pulling him in for the alphabetical joint, what they was doing on the Smack magazine, Smack DVD, he shines. He can still spit. G-Rap get busy. Biggest disappointment is we never got Nas and AZ album. Put all the collaborative works together and it makes one hell of a nostalgic, true hip hop classic album. That's the biggest what if. That's what I did. I just created a playlist and I just listened to it, because when you really think about the How You Livings or the Flyest or Give Me Yours, or most of the records, the topics or the focal point or the energy is the same in a sense, right? Like, they never really showed us a bunch of range over the records that they did. Not to say that I would love a Nas and AZ album, but I think that's part of the reason why. Like, because it just doesn't make any sense. It had to be something there technical in a sense, because it was there. From his first feature to the Sprite commercials to y'all transition to the firm, we'll never know why they didn't do an album. I just feel like something was lacking with the synergies, because doing the album is different than getting one-offs. It's totally different. More Money, More Murder. They got nothing but classics, man. They got they got classics. Shout out to them, man. Flow's tight as a midget's closet. Ego could be the problem too. We don't know what was happening in the background. You get your little handlers in the way, like, and we got to keep in mind these dudes were young as hell, man. They were young and had that success. Yeah, I'm a How You Living guy. The essence is cool. The How You Living, I just first of all, the beat is a little bit more up tempo too. The Flyest, they went off on that. Give me yours. Yeah, and this was the last joint they did together. I'm not gonna count Full Circle, right? That's I've always thought Slick Rick and Ghostface would be dope joint album in their prime. I can see that. Who's producing though? Slick Rick is one of the most unique MCs ever, man. Nas and AZ versus Ray and Ghost. Nas and AZ 4-game sweep. I love Ray and Ghost though. Shout out to them. Yeah. Nah, that's just my preference. But what we basing it on? Records they've already done? Or like if you just saying bar for bar, what we doing? But that's preference though, because Ray and Ghost, man. And what era are we talking about? So we going from like I want to say 95 to 97-ish. That's what I'm trying to base it on. I see you, MC. Are we basing it on their primes? Are we basing it on albums? Are we basing it on potential, promise? Can an artist have many primes or just one? I think you can have many primes, man. Because your prime, you kind of. Let me get to this question in a minute. Yeah, as you mature, you reach different stages, right? Like, yeah, you can have more than one prime. Quincy Jones has had many different primes. Nas has had quite a few different primes. You can definitely have more than one prime. I think so. Yo, people still be running with that. Nah, I don't think Nas is threatened by AZ. Nah. I just feel like musically they two different individuals because you can see how it look at AZ solo albums. He never really tapped into what Nas did. It's not very musical. Because even some of his people talk about production selections. I think AZ sounds better on melody. You know what I'm saying? Like production with top line, like soul. And some of his Do or Die 2, he tapped back into that. But sometimes when they get into that the dark element, he doesn't sound like the plush or the gifted AZ that we know. That's just my preference though. Like I posted a video recently when he in the studio. It's cool, but he sounds better on production like Just For You. I think the limitations between them as a duo wouldn't have made sense as an album because what were they gonna do? Mafioso rap? Because that's what most of their songs come back to. At least for me, when you listen to it, how many? It's like the same subject matter. Shout out to my dudes though. That's one album we're never getting. I don't think we're ever getting that. What we got here? Life's a B is the track I would use for AZ's introduction, but surprisingly, I would have Firm Biz as a verse I would use to introduce AZ to someone. AZ floated on that song, even if it's not love. He did. He floated on that. He did. That's a very good verse. They just got caught up in the whole Bad Boy Diddy era. Like people don't like that song, but everybody was doing that. Firm Biz, or that's just what it was. That's what we were at the time in '97. But AZ definitely bodied that. Firm album, I like Firm Fiasco. I love that song, man. It's my dudes, man. And there got to be some love there. Whenever Nas in the city, when we brought AZ out on that garden, so I don't think there's no egos there. He could have called anybody. He could have. That would have been the time to front on somebody. Like I ain't bringing you on my stage. Nah, he was there. Will Nas and Lupe ever link up? If I'm a betting man, no. All right, so my fam here, he asked the question: Nas and AZ or Ray and Ghost? And this is the second part to it. Lyrically in their primes from mid to the late '90s. I'm taking Nas and AZ. I'm gonna take Nas and AZ. Yeah, yeah. When was Pieces of a Man? '98. So we got Illmatic. It was written plus Nas historic feature run in between that 95, 96 situation from the verbal intercourse to his mob to Fast Life remix. Like, yeah, nah, I gotta go. Then you got AZ, Do or Die from his Life is to Be verse. Then you got D'Angelo Lady. Nah, but I don't know. I'm going Nas and AC, but Ghost and Ray they had their moment too. I think it comes down to preference though. Ray and Ghost hands down, their chemistry is unmatched. See, it comes down. It comes down to that. AZ had label issues and had to compete with Nas, Jay, Ghost, Ray, Meth, Nori, Pun, Buster. Very easy to be overlooked. And he signed to Motown, right? Then he got, I know he was with Kadar Entertainment. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was EMI, if I'm not mistaken. I'm dead wrong on that. Yeah, that sometimes that decision he made kind of backfired, but yeah. Who would be the best opponent in the verses for Eminem? The same area or before MC Rapper better? Eminem in the verses? I couldn't see that. I wouldn't even tune in for that, man. I'm not an M guy. I respect what he's done in the culture and stuff like that, but for verses, it depends what the audience is like that. Because M don't have those records that I love. I never said, yo, put on that Eminem. I'm not hating. I'm not trying to be funny style. I'm dead serious. I never said, yo, put on that M, fam. I probably wouldn't tune in for that. Nas and Saha the Prince. Saha the Prince is nice. He's a writer, man. He gets busy. EMI folded. He had to regroup. Yeah, that. And this is different from it is now. It wasn't like, yo, I'm a package up and just, put everything on the streaming site. If you was really going independent, you was going out the trunk. And that's a little bit harder than it is today. So, yeah. But even then, like, AZ had a great career. He's still thriving. He's still doing well. So, What's she gonna do? I'm trying to make sure. Yo, son in his bag tonight. A plus or Shaheem the Rugged Child. Oh man. Oh, yo, A plus is my guy, man. Yo, what's that? What was his first single that Dark Child produced when he had Shorty singing on the hook? That was fire. But there was rumors that was AZ writing for A plus? He wasn't, right? I'm going A plus. I'm going A plus. Long Island's own. Shout out to Hempstead, man. Shaheem was nice though. That's a great comparison. A plus. Shout out to Plus. Yo. What's that verse he had on the Lost Boys album? What, Beast from the East? Oh, he was blacking on that. Young boy. All I need. Yes, sir. That was my joint right there. A plus versus Shaheem. Yo, that would be, let me write that down. We'll listen to some A plus today. What's this? The second album was Hempstead High. What was the first joint? All I need is Ali Vegas or Shaheem. I was the Ali Vegas guy, man. Shout out, Vegas was nice. You hear his stories of why he didn't get his opportunity. I don't get into all of that. Politics talking, but he was a prodigy. He just that he had too many similarities to a king of New York. And that didn't work in his favor. I think he should have tweaked some things. He was going the same. He was kind of similar to Nas in the sense, and he was going down the same avenue, Sound of Columbia, dealing with track masters. It was just too much similarities, man. But Ali Vegas was nice. But that A plus, so I'm listening to some Heavy D either today or tomorrow, some A plus. That was a fire. Latchkey Kid, yes, and Hempstead High was the second joint. A plus. See, this is why I like talking to y'all, man. Forgot about my boy Plus. OC is a problem, man. Like ever so often, yeah. OC's biggest problem was that he was on Digging in the Crate. They had too many people on the roster. Kind of like the AZ situation. Somebody just mentioned that he had to compete with Nas, AZJ, Big at the time, Buster. Go look at that Digging in the Crates crew, the roster. It was just too much. OC was nice though. OC is nice. Yeah, Vegas is cousins with Lamar Odom. I know he had him under the wing for a little bit prior to Odom having the situations, but yeah, they were shooting a bunch of videos and all of that. It didn't pan out. But Vegas was nice. Ali Vegas is nice, see? Oh, Malik. Y'all in your bag today, boy. Yep. This is it. I was trying to talk around it. You peeped it, right? But I try not to make those connections because he hears it enough. Ali Vegas got hurt by that next Nas comparison. And they calling you the next Nas while Nas is still in his prime. And you never, or he didn't have the foresight to say, let me switch this up and switch that up or go a different avenue. Because you're the next Nas. Nas is in his prime. Y'all both signed to Columbia or dealing with track masters. It was too much similarities. He should have found a way to go a different way. And I think he would have had a much better career because writing was not an issue. It was the politics of it all and the way they were labeling him. And if you're someone like Nas, you put in that situation, I got to be uncomfortable too. Like, yo, fam, I'm coming off It Was Written and Illmatic, and you're talking about the next Nas. Nah, I'm here. What we talking about? And it's too much. And a lot of people turn out to be bitter about that situation, man. Rakim loves Eminem. That says a whole lot. That's what up. I just don't. I can't listen. I just, and I'm open minded too. Like he had one song on Marshall Mathers, the first joint. That I'm just Marshall Mathers. I like that. The production was cool, but nothing. I don't really relate to his music. Nothing funny. I just never thought he was fire like that. But what do I know? It's fire. Make sure I got everybody. That's it. A plus had a nice cut. Beats from the East. Yep. Your cannabis went crazy. Your cannabis is blacking on that though. Yo. Yeah. But that Lost Boys album, that was fire. Shout out to the Lost Boys too. Queens, man. We make sure I got all the comments. And we good bread, man. You check it out, man. Want y'all to know I appreciate all y'all, man. We've been on here for about 2 hours and some change, man. I'm gonna try to lock in every Saturday. Next week, if I hop on, I'm gonna give you a reminder or a notification just to let you know so you can prepare for it. Because I came on surprising quite a few individuals, but I appreciate all y'all coming through. Keep supporting hip hop 50, man. Y'all be blessed, man. Be cool outside. Stay focused. Nah, go get yours. Yeah.